Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If it's your first time here, hi. My name is Carrington, not your first time here. Hi, welcome back. If you enjoy any and all things makeup related, reviews, using old products, anything makeup related, definitely hit that subscribe button. Click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads. And let's go ahead and let's dive on in. Alright, so I placed a very generous order at Unearthly Cosmetics. So the first things that I purchased were these little chrome pots. So these are like multi-chrome, gel kind of multi-chromes. There were 6 in the collection. So I figured maybe we could do like an eyeliner moment with them. And I will swatch all of them as well. Then they came out with some magnetic palettes. And inside the magnetic palettes, these are what first of all, this is what the packaging looks like. Stunning, like, oh, such a vibe. But then they also came out with like a face bundle. So inside the face bundle, you get some blushes and some highlighters. Here are all the highlighters. I feel like we could really make these work for the looks I'm going to use. And then next up is going to be all of these blushes. So we have all 8 blushes right in here. There's some, you know, really everyday one. There's some really pops of color. So I love that. And then the star of the show, maybe it's not going to be a star of the show. I don't know. You know, you never know. Maybe I might like something else. Is going to be the Unearthly Cosmetics Leather and Lace palette. So they just released this. Here's what the inside looks like. It is so beautiful, and I love the absolute layout of this. You just go from like your shimmer all the way to your dark green, and you just kind of work by road. And for me, or anybody that might be a beginner, this is genius. This is definitely going to be a way for if you are like, oh, I don't know what colors to put together. This is definitely a foolproof way. Of course, you can always mix and match and create your own look, but I really do like how easy and simple like this is. I think that's fantastic. Again, the artwork is beautiful. And then there were a couple of things because I am redoing my makeup room. It's a lot. So before I had all of these pulled out, I have now put all my eyeshadow palettes in there. I've got over here that I'm working on cleaning out. It's like, it's a whole process. It's a whole thing. So in that, when I was cleaning that out, I found 3 Unearthly Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. I think these are liquid lipsticks. Just says lip color. That's all it says. And then I found 1 gloss. So I'm hoping maybe each of these could provide something to the 3 looks that we're going to do. So I am going to create 3 different looks using, you know, different highlighters, a blush, the palette, some lip options. So if you guys are excited to see what I think of this collection, then definitely keep on watching. All right, so let's kick it off with some swatches. So first off, we're going to start on this arm, which has the palette and the blushes. So first shade right here is going to be Chantilly, Vintage, Olive, Leather. Moving on to the next row, we have Pointy Esbrit, we have Whiskey, Redwood, we have Saddle. Moving on to the final one is going to be Applique, Venetian, Mahogany, and finally Aubergine. So then we have the blushes. I'm not really 100% for sure what the blush shades are. I don't know if they have like blush shades, but as you can tell, they're very nice, very pigmented. You have like a lot of different options. Moving on now over to here. So here are the multi-chrome. They're called Molten Chrome Gels. And so they're called just like MC1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I don't know if you're going to really be able to tell the shift just based on my arms. Then we have the highlighters. So we have like a pinky one. We have one that shifts a little bit green. We have a gold. And then we have like a purple. Up here we have the lip gloss, which is in the shade Casket. We have the shade Autumn. Then we have Pumpkin. And last we have Eerie. So we definitely have some really nice neutral nude type of options for our lips, which is good, especially since we have such a grunge palette. So let's go ahead and let's dive on into our first look. So I have already primed my eyelids. I'm using the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer. And so like I said, I think I may only be able to get 2 done today just because I do need to go rush off to work. I have my True Crime small group, which I'll explain more about that while I'm doing my eyeshadow. But I'm wearing like a black top with like some cheetah print pants. So I'm thinking maybe like doing this row, so it just kind of matches a little bit more with like the cheetah print, I think is the direction that I'm going to go. So I'm honestly just going to just like start with this matte shade and then just move along and use this all over the lid. That is my plan, that is my goal. So let's go ahead, we'll start off with Whiskey. Okay, has a little bit of kick up in the pan, but boy does that like coat the brush. All right, so this is going to be like my transition shade. Really nice, really pigmented, blends out nicely. All right, so okay, just in case you were curious about like a small group at work, yeah, so my job gives us every season, so we have one in the springtime that runs for 12 weeks and one in the fall that runs for about 12 weeks, and then you have like time in between. But basically what we do is you go online, like people sign up that work within the company to be like group leaders, and they lead something that they're really interested in. So we've got true crime, we've got playing board games, Dungeons and Dragons, we've got reading books like the psychological thriller Verity that everybody's talking about. That's like one where people are like reading the book and like talking about it and things like that. And they give you like 24 hours, so that way you can choose up to 2 small groups, and each small group is about an hour a week. So we just do this, that way we can like meet new people within the company, form friendships, stuff like that. And so I chose the true crime group, which I really enjoy. The next shade is going to be Redwood, and I'm just going to bring that just lower down into the crease area, not bring it up as high. So far these shades are really pigmented, blending like a dream. But I think part of the, I cannot talk. I think with this shade, like I started right here and I just cannot get this to really blend. Like it just kind of got stuck there. No. So the last matte shade we're going to go into is that Saddle shade, and we're just going to stamp that on the outer corner. I went ahead, I glitter primed my eyelids, which is what I do for every shimmer. And we're going to go into that Point de Esprit. And I'm just going to take that on a finger. I hope this shows up. Sometimes their shimmers are more topperish, more sheer. No, that shows up. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so this is a like gold. It looks gold in the pan. On the eyes, it's like gold with a like a lime green kind of a shift, which I think is really beautiful. I think that's cute. I am just really layering it up to get like the amount of intensity that I want, which is going to be about right there. Okay, so here we are with the eyes. I've got it cleaned up so I can kind of see where I need to make a wing, which makes me nervous because I don't do a whole lot of wings. It's just like this eye especially just kind of like eats up everything. And over here it's not that bad, but yeah, it's hard with my eye shape to make really good, decent wings. So I don't normally do it, but I felt like we could take the Molten chrome gels and maybe make like a wing. So the one that I'm going to take is probably going to be, ooh, it doesn't even say on the bottle. So what shade is this? We got 4, 6, 5, 2, 1, 1, 2. So this is 3. There's not a sticker on the bottom, which I thought was odd, but it is Molten shade 3. So I chose this because it has a little bit of that gold, which is kind of what we're doing today, is more of like a gold green type of look. So I figured this would be the best for that. So I'm just going to start just like right here. Just like, I guess stamping it in works the best. Stamping it on there. Okay, so we have some pretty pretty out there wings, but I will say I think it went on nicely, and you know, up close and personal you can definitely see it really well. I don't know if you can see it like the best on camera, but like up close, like in person, that looks really, really good. So now that we've got the eyes for the most part completed, I am now going to go off camera, finish off as much of the face as I can, come back so we can do lower lash line, highlight, blush, and a lip option. All right, so we are back and ready for the excitement. All right, so first off, I'm gonna take that deepest shade Saddle that we went into. I'm gonna take it on like this little flat shader kind of brush and just work it right up against the lash line. This is definitely a really stiff brush, so if you need precise lines, this is the brush. What brush is this? It's a BH6. Take that redwood shade and I'll just smoke it a little bit lower down on the area. Last, we'll go into that whiskey shade and just smudge that down even lower. Just right into the socket area. Then let's bust out a blush. So here are all of our blush options. I think this would be really pretty. It's like more of that orangish shade. I think that might be cute. Okay, has some kick up in the pan. I'm gonna start pressing lightly just in case. It's a little bit, this goes a little bit more overboard than I had anticipated. But actually, so far, it's looking pretty nice. I love like the orangeness of it. Definitely something really unique to my collection because this is like honestly like an orange, not like a pinky orange or like a reddish orange. Like this is orange. This is what we got. Let's see. So next up is going to be like highlight, and I think I'm also going to use this on the inner corner. And I think this is where, actually I'm just going to use this shade on the inner corner. It's like going to be like the best bet that we have. Yeah. I'm wondering if I just lightly put the gold on a brush. Okay, just like lightly. Like how much the dark, like the two, like it being too gold will show up. Oh, does it not show it being too dark? Is it going okay so far? Okay, so that actually did work, just going in nice and lightly. All right, so next up is, or I guess last step, truthfully, for this look is going to be the lip options. Okay. Well, we've got Autumn Eerie or, oh, here's the other one, or Pumpkin. And I'm thinking that since this look is just really super orange, we could just go in with this and like save these for like the darker type shades. I think that's the way I want to go. So I'm just going to start by applying Pumpkin here all over the lips. Oh, it heals. Alright, so here is look number one, completely and totally completed, an all orange look. Let's now go ahead and let's dive on into look number two. Alright everyone, so we are back for day number two. I'm hoping I can push out both looks this morning so I can get this edited and up. So, what look are we going to do today? I think I ultimately, so we have the purple look to still do and the green look to still do. I think I want to end this video, like if I'm wearing this outfit with like the green, I feel like the green would go a little bit better. So today we're gonna, right now anyways, we're gonna focus on this purple row. We're going to use some more of like the highlights and the blushes, and then we're definitely going to be using a lip option. So let's go ahead, let's dive on in. My eyelids are primed. Let's go ahead, let's dive into the shade right here, which is called Venetian. We're just going to take that on like a fluffy brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH32. And we're just going to start. I don't know if it's like the eyeshadow that's not going very well, or if it's because like my eye base hasn't really been sat down. But right now packing this on seems to work pretty well. Maybe that'll help set the eye base. Then we're next going to dive into this shade right here, which is going to be called Mahogany, and just focus that a little bit lower down and just work on blending. I have noticed these shades really, once you put it down somewhere, like to stay in that one spot that you put it, and it does blend, but just know you do kind of have to work on blending it out, but it's pretty easy to do. Then when there's not like a lot left on the brush, I'm just going to take it, kind of just run it along the eye, just so like whenever I do the glitter shade or the shimmer shade, I've got a little bit of a base. Alright, and then last one is going to be the shade right here called Aubergine. We will just take that. Just work that right into the outer V. So I have glitter primed my eyes. I'm not going to go into the shimmer shade, which is called Blvd. And just going to see how well this goes, especially on top of the base we have. I think it goes nicely. I think it'd be better to be layered up and built up, truthfully. I think if you would like a really light type of shimmer that's not very like in your face, you would like this as like a one on top of a base type color. But I of course do like to shine from here to the stars, so that's what I'm going to be doing, is building it up. Alright, so I've cleaned up the eyes. I now want to go in with the MC2 color. It's got like this like purple blue type shift. So we will try that out on the lids today. Oh. So here are the eyelids, the top of the eyelids completed for now. I think this does kind of shift a really nice purple. Definitely seems a little bit blue. I will also say on this one, it kind of just like skips a whole lot, and so you really have to like sit there and keep building it up for a while. I didn't really notice that with the other one, but it's not bad. Just keep, you know, stamping over it, do multiple layers until you finally get the like opacity of the line. So overall, not bad. I will see y'all here in just a sec. I'm back, ready to move on to the lower lash line. So first off, I'm just going to take that darkest shade, Aubergine, that we had, and just put that right in the, like, near the lash line. The Mahogany, and just kind of start smoking that down a little ways. And then I'll take the Venetian, smoke that down even farther, just like right in that socket area. Alright, so next up, we need to dive on into a little bit of a blush shade. Oh, this is hard because I'm really kind of feeling either this one or this one. They're both nice and purple. Let's go in with this, with a light hand, because they're very pigmented shades. Right, here we go. I mean, dang, I just like coated just the very tip of my brush, and look at how pigmented that is. Oh, Lord. And it just wants to kind of stay in this one spot. cannot get it. Okay. Well. Do you see how it just kind of wants to stay? Like wherever you first apply it, like it just like will not blend out to save its life. Like I know, like if it was like a life or death situation and like you didn't have, you know, you had to stay still or else you died, like this would definitely win. This is a winner for that. But that's about all it's winning. Now we have some highlight options. Obviously, ooh, I could go in with the pink. That could be cute. I feel like this might be like a little bit more of a pinky look than so much purple. So let's do like the pink. So I'll get a little bit on my brush here and just focus that. A little bit of pink. Right, then we'll take a little bit of that pink and just tap it on the inner corner here. So then for lips, I'm thinking of doing this like eerie shade. It's a little bit more of a pinky type color versus the other one that we haven't tried, which is autumn, and that's just like a little bit more like a nude. So there's at least a little bit of color. Yeah. So here is the second and total completed look. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the first one more? Do you like this one more? Let me know all that down below, but let's go ahead, let's dive into look number 3. Okay. Yes, we're gonna do the third look. As you can tell, I've already got it started. I literally thought I had hit record. I did not. I did not. So I did start off with this shade right here called Vintage. That is all up in my crease and my transition area. Yikes. So next I'm going to go into the shade right here called Olive and just bring that a little bit lower down into my crease area. Okay. What a rough morning. Also, it has been raining here for almost a solid week, and then next week it's supposed to rain all week as well. I'm honestly just like so over the rain. I just want it to be nice. Okay. So I am kind of struggling with this olive shade a little bit. It just kind of gets patchy in one area. So I'm going to try just like stamping. Yeah, stamping helps. And then lightly blending. Yeah, I think stamping helps the most. But yeah, it just keeps raining. And that's like really frustrating for me and the dogs, because the dogs, I have 3 of them. 2 of them refuse. Well, try to refuse. I do not allow it. But they try to be like, I don't want to go potty. It's raining. And I'm like, nope. I'm going to go potty. And so I can't really take them for walks. The other one probably would go for a walk in the rain. But, I mean, like, then just like, the other 2, I can't get to go outside. I don't want it to be like going for walks being like a traumatizing experience. So I'm going to go into the shade right here called Leather for the outer corner. I don't want it to be like a traumatizing like experience for them. So I don't know. I just like with them not being able to really like go outside and play or go for like a really nice walk. They're basically like inside and they just have so much energy. And you know, I tried doing like mental stimulation. Like we tried practicing like new tricks, or we try like puzzles. Like I have this thing, it's called a topple. And I will put their food in it, and then like put water in with the food and freeze it, and that'll keep it entertained for a little bit, for about 30 minutes maybe. But I mean, that's, you know, that's something to do with them, I guess. But it would just be nice if we just could easily just, I don't know, go for a walk. Because they get the topple every day no matter what, no matter if it's raining or not. So they get the topple every day. So I'm going to go into this shade right here called Chantilly. So, you know, it's just frustrating, kind of annoying, truthfully, that they just don't want to do anything outside at all. So I think for the liner, and this time instead of dragging out a wing, because I feel like the black kind of already does a little bit of a wing, I got black all over the place. Just going to focus it on like the lash line area. So this is MC1. It's got like a very greenish teal blue, but I feel like this is probably the best green one that we have. So here is the eyes with the liner. I think the eyeliner really added something pretty special to that, if you ask me. All right, so I'm back, so we can go ahead and move on into the lower lash line. I'm first going to take the shade Leather right here and focus that on just the outer third. And I'll take Olive, which is like that middle tone green, and just kind of start smoking that all over the lash line. And then we'll take that Vintage shade and just smoke it a little bit lower. It's right in that socket area. So now we need to choose a blush option. I'm kind of actually feeling this one right here. Maybe it's like a little bit too like orange though. I feel like it looks more orange on camera than it does in the pan. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with this one actually. It's a little bit more peach. And let's just start slowly tapping that on and blending that out. It's not like a very deep or intense blush, which is fine. Also, just like slowly start to bring that in. Okay. Now we need to think about a highlighter. I think I do have one. It's like a little bit like a champagne with like a greenish type shift. So I'm just going to take some of that on my brush and just start working that. Whoa. That was a bright and intense. Not exactly what I was expecting. I don't know, is that too dark? Maybe too deep. I may have put too much on. I may have to focus that out, but I am going to put a little bit of that on my like inner corner region, so we have something there. So last up is going to be our lip combo, which is going to be this. So we have the liquid lipstick in the shade Autumn, and then we have the gloss in the shade Casket. These are pretty close together to the same shade. All right, so this is the completed look, the final look. What do you guys think? Let me know all that down below. I had so much fun playing with these products. I am going to do what I normally do when testing out new stuff, is I'm going to rank my least favorite up to my most favorite. So definitely let's go ahead, let's dive on into that. So the least favorite for me, probably personally, is probably just going to be these Molten Chromes. These are very, very beautiful. You know, it does a great job. I do find that it lasts a pretty good amount of time on my eyes. I also haven't tried to use it as like a liquid all over the lid type of shadow or anything like that. So I will have to play with this a little bit more. But I just found that like it was just like very hard to just like, you had to keep layering up to get the opacity like that I have now. It takes about 3 to 4 layers for me to get, you know, this type of opacity. And the other issue that I'm having is like in here you can see all of those shifts, but on my eye, like even like on camera, in person, like I don't see those shifts. I don't know what happened to the shifts. I don't know, if it's like the type of lighting or whatever the case may be, but I just can't notice the shifts. I just don't notice them at all. So it's just like a little bit disappointing because that's the whole reason why I bought them, is to have those shifts. And I just find that once I put it on and it dries, that the shift just kind of, it kind of disappears. I do want to play around with it where I use it as like an all over the lid type shade, see what we get. But for right now, that's just probably not my favorite. Okay, so the next thing, this is hard. This is the hard part. It's probably going to have to be the liquid lipsticks. I think the liquid lipsticks are absolutely beautiful. I think we had one that went with like every single look, like absolutely love that. I think the issue with me for this is just like, it just is a little bit more drying than I personally like. And I even prep my lips. But like by Jacqueline, I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's so dry. But if I prep my lips good, I don't find that to be the case. And my lips were prepped really good, for all three looks, and it just felt really heavy, and very dry. So that's probably where I would rank that. I really like my Give Me Glows or the Jacqueline Cosmetics if you prep your lips. I love Lunar Beauty. Give Me Glow and Lunar Beauty, you don't really have to prep your lips, and make sure you have like a hydrating mask on underneath like you do the Jacqueline. But like even with the hydrating mask on underneath, I just didn't think that it was just a little bit too dry. I'm going to talk about these palettes as a whole. So these like little single palettes. First of all, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. Here's kind of where my issue lies, is here where all my blushes are. And I wish they would have made it so, I guess these are for like single eyeshadows, but if they're putting out like single face products, they have like a single face bundle, or you could buy them individually. I don't want to have to buy a compact for each one. I really would like something where I could just plop these in, but I don't like how it has all this extra room. I feel like we could have made it bigger or made it a little bit smaller, whatever the case may be. I think the artwork is great, but again, this just drives me nuts. This drives me absolutely insane. Cannot stand it. The next thing after that is going to be the blushes. I like the blushes. They are very nice. They are very pigmented. I love like the different colors. Like there's just something in here that would be for everybody. You've got pinks, you've got oranges, you've got neutrals, you've got purples, you've got a coral shade. Like there's something in here that would be for everybody. I think where my issue probably lies the most with this is that with some of the deeper shades, like no matter where I initially put my brush, like, I mean, it was there to stay. Like it was there to stay. It was not moving. It was not budging. And that was kind of frustrating, where I'm just like sitting here like, come on. And it was almost like felt like I was going to take off like my foundation or concealer. Luckily I didn't, but I was like, dang, like I am really having to like in there. And I just didn't really care for that. So that's where the blushes rank. Next up would probably have to be this lip gloss. I think it's a really comfortable lip gloss. It has this like a sweet vanilla cupcake type scent. So I like that. I just find that this one is a little bit heavy. Like I can just really feel it on my lips. And I just don't really want to feel my gloss on my lips. So then the second thing to talk about is going to be the highlighters. I really did enjoy these highlighters. I was able to use all of these. I do have to be very light with like these, with some of them, like make sure I do go in with a light hand. But I did notice like today when I kind of was like, oh, that's a little bit too intense, I went in with my powder brush and now it looks fine. It's not too intense. It's not too green. It's not leaving a gray cast or anything like that anymore. I thought these were really easy to work with. And these are a little bit more glittery. So if you don't like glitter type highlighters, I don't think you're necessarily going to care for these. But I do like how I feel like these would be made for like almost any skin tone, because you could build it up to be a little bit more intense if you're a deeper skin tone, or just go in lightly if you're lighter, and then, adjust for any in-between shades. So I think that, this is definitely a really good highlighter formula. Very, very beautiful. Love that. So then that brings us to number 1, which is going to be the Leather and Lace palette. This is beautiful. For me, this is an easy, everyday go-to palette. Like I could easily just have this palette and be fine. Although obviously I have a bunch more, but like it has a neutral row. So if I need a neutral look or whatever, I have that. If I want to default to my pinky purples, which are definitely like some of my go-to If I want color on the lids, I'm definitely reaching into like pinks and purples. I think those look the best on my eyes, and I have that as a row. And then going into like some grungy greens. I love some good grungy greens. Like if I want a grunge look, I'm going into greens. If I want something a little bit more colorful that's not pink and purple, it's generally almost always going into greens. I love greens. So the fact that I have the two colors that I love the most and an easy neutral row, absolutely love this. The shimmers are really nice. You can mix and match. You can do whatever you want. I love the layout, how literally it's like lightest to darkest, with the shimmers being right here. I love that. I think the layout is great. The artwork is great. It feels really like nice and like heavy and sturdy, and I really, whoops. And I really do enjoy that. I think they did a great job. They always really kill it with their eyeshadow palette formula. I'm loving seeing all the new things that they're coming out with. So that is my ranking. This is the final look. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy types of reviews like these, then definitely make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!